And welcome to Against the Fence. This is your latest UFC news with that real fan opinion. And what an evening we are having tonight. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. We cover all different kinds of different content over here on Against the Fence. This is a UFC fan channel where fan opinions matter most. And tonight we're going to be talking about Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, which is set thanks to Brett Okamoto from ESPN, and that will be happening at UFC 272. Now, originally, we went live a few days ago. I think it was, some point last week, right? Breaking the news that it was going to be Alexander Volkanovski defending his featherweight belt against Max Holloway. The day after that news came out, that got scrapped. Max got injured. They decided that they were going to move the card, and we've got also news shortly after the Masvidal Covington news that from Ariel Helwani that Alexander Volkanovski will be defending his belt against Chan Sung Jung, and that will be at UFC 273 on April the 9th. Now, the Covington Jorge Masvidal fight will headline the UFC 272 card, and that will be on the 5th of March. So, man, exciting stuff. What can I say? How do you guys feel about this match? Because it almost feels to me that you would rather see this one than the Volkanovski fight. I mean, that's just my opinion, of course. You could completely disagree with me, and I'm sure there's a lot of Australians who'd probably disagree with me with that. But it just feels like, I don't know, the UFC can literally proper draw. I'm just hoping there's a big build-up for this fight. I think it needs a build-up. Personally, when we sort of thought about these options before, these two, we thought it would be, they'd both make really good Ultimate Fighter coaches. But look, we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that. These guys are going to throw down in March. And, you know, I'm glad we're getting it. I'm glad we're getting it. We've got a car. Oh, Bob, welcome back to the channel, buddy. He says, very interesting that both will headline the card. Definitely can sell the fight. Though, who are you going to fill the card with? Well, that's a good question. Earlier on this week, we got news that Kevin Holland will be making his welterweight debut against Alex Oliveira on that same card. That's going to be, you know, I think that'll be fireworks, and that's a really good fight for Kevin Holland. But we'll get into that in just a sec. We've got a few comments. So Bob saying, think Jorge probably refused to do tough with Colby as he's done so in the past. Man, to me, that could, on paper, could have been ultimate tough season, right? I personally didn't watch the last one when they brought it back for Volkanovski and Ortega. Ash did. He quite enjoyed it, but he felt like it kind of lacked a little bit. Those two would have made the finest of coaches, and I probably would have got back watching it. I mean, I don't know if you guys... Bob, do you watch the Ultimate Fighter still? Did you watch the last season? Let me know. Taylor Young tuning in. He welcome back, buddy. He says this fight will be insane, both in build-up and combat. This will probably be big no matter what, but with a great card, this will be a pay-per-view powerhouse. And that's a good point from Taylor Young. And look, I spoke with Taylor Young a few minutes ago. We were talking. He asked me, what do you think, who else will be on this pay-per-view card? And look, you know, what's funny is that they took away the Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan fight from this card, and they moved it as well. So Aljamain Sterling will defend his title against Peter Yan on the UFC 273 card in April. So it makes you think that perhaps the UFC are lining up a big co-main event to go with it. And look, I put my thoughts into Taylor, and I said, would it not be beneficial to do Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier on that same card? How amazing would that be? I want to add a little point that Ariel Helwani actually made 28 minutes ago, where he said that Masvidal Covington would be the first non-title main event to not feature Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz since 2015, and that was Anderson Silva versus Nick Diaz. So, you know, it just comes to show how big of a magnitude this fight can be. Chuck Nate Diaz in there on the co-main event against Dustin. Man, this gives me chills. Okay, so Ash saying, he's chiming in, welcome back Ash. He says, yeah, can't wait for the build-up as well, so he agrees. Bob saying, I tuned out last season, could not invest in the fighters or coaches. Yeah, I've had that happen a few times with Tough, to be honest. I think that happened with me with Brock Lesnar and JDS. You know, I just wasn't invested in it. But yeah, he wasn't invested on who was winning or losing in that season. Yeah, some seasons are just a bit meh. I think you need coaches with real big personalities to really take this. And look, these two would have been ideal. Sorry, my man, I might pronounce your name wrong. Oh, it's Broken Native on Twitter. That gives me a bit of a free pass not to pronounce your name, buddy. Because I don't want to insult you and I don't want to make myself like a fool. But Broken Native on Twitter, he said, when friends become foes, it's bound to be fireworks. Absolutely. He hit the nail on the head there. Because they were buddies before. They had trained together. Stars have aligned for them to fight. And, you know, there has been a bit of beef. I must admit, we weren't planning on going live. This news has brought us, you know, come out of nowhere. And I said to Sarah, I was like, we've got to go live for this one. So I would draw back some previous conversations that the two have had. But I haven't had time to do that. Like, I've had a busy evening. We've been box fit. I look a bit sweaty. I'm smelly. But I'm bringing you the news right here. Size Trillion says the news this week has been insane. I mean, man, what a roller coaster of a week. You know, 2022 is kicking off. And Ash says, yes, Diaz versus Dustin. So he's all for that idea. Taylor Young saying Poirier versus Diaz. Burns versus Chimaev. Maybe Chandler versus Ferguson. I know, that's another thing we've been reading on Twitter as well. What if that was to get made? Because that's another really good fight to add into the co-main event. That one's an interesting one because Tony Ferguson has, you know, he's come off back-to-back losses now and he needs wins. And then at the same time, you've also got Chandler who's in a bit of the same scenario at lightweight. So, and both guys are insanely popular, of course, as well. That would be, you know, a mental fight. Which one would you guys rather? I mean, it's probably a stupid question, but, you know, there might be some Michael Chandler fans out there or Tony Ferguson fans out there. What would you rather have for the co-main event? Would you rather have Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz, or would you rather have Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler? Yeah, let us know. The comments are popping. Bob says, with Kevin Holland on this card, they got to make this card filled with the most loudmouths. But Sean Strickland on it. Oh, put Sean Strickland. Imagine. Oh, mate. That's a solid shot. But isn't Strickland booked at the moment? Who's Strickland fighting? Please remind me. I need my guy in the chair. Because I can't remember who he's booked against. I swear he's booked, right? Let's have a look quick, guys. Whilst Sai's going to bring that up for me, let's read out more of these comments. Big comment from YaLizard21. Welcome to the channel, buddy. He says UFC could genuinely run a welterweight #1 contender tournament on that card with Colby versus Masvidal, Diaz versus Poirier. If Poirier would stick at welterweight, of course, as well. Leon versus Luque, Hamzat versus Burns. Oh, mate. Yes. I mean, sod it if Bellator are doing that. The UFC need to bring in tournaments, man, to make things even more spicier. But yes, Jack Hermansson, that's the one. Yes, sorry. Jack Hermansson Fight Night, and that's happening 5th of February. So yeah, just around the corner, just shy. Hey, if Sean Strickland starches Jack Hermansson in the first round, I'd love to see him jump on that pay-per-view as well. But yeah, great shout with that one, Bob. But yeah, back on your Lizard's point, man. Tournaments, bring tournaments to us, man. I'm all for it. I don't know if you guys, everyone, of course you guys would be. I mean, it's a tournament. Who does not like a tournament? I'm saying, yeah, the card could be so good, man. Bob saying this card with Nate co-maining easily sells 1 million pay-per-views. Big call. I think it would as well. I think just over the 1 million mark, I'd say. I don't think it would be maybe anything too drastic like that. I don't think it would reach 2. No, I think that's a good shout. Taylor Young saying, so much potential on this card. Mate, all of you guys are pumped. I can feel it. I can feel it in my waters. As a Tony fan, do not want to see Tony versus Chandler, says Bob. Okay. Oh, wow. Why? Why do you not want to see that fight? Do you potentially see Chandler getting the win against Tony there? That's interesting. Taylor Young saying, I don't really want to see Tony versus Chandler. Oh, okay, I don't think Tony has enough left, but it's possible. So, wow, 2 of you are saying you don't actually want to see that fight. Wow. It is kind of a bit of a question with Tony Ferguson, isn't it? You can't help but question after those 2 losses of his. And, you know, Charles Oliveira, one of them, Justin Gaethje, and of course, Beneil Dariush, which was last year. He has hit a rough patch, and I don't know. I don't think he's trained as hard as he used to. I don't know what's affected him. It's hard to tell. Look, I think Chandler would be a good opponent. I know Chandler's just fought for the belt. He's kind of up there. That slugfest with Gaethje was a war. And he looked good. He looked quality in that first round. But Tony offers a lot more though. And Tony can take a shot. Chandler's got power. Tony could finish Chandler. Honestly, you know, there's no disrespect to Chandler. I do like Chandler. I do admire him. I think that's a winnable fight for Tony. Or Tony should just fight Conor. But look, we could beat around the bush for all night about the fighters who Conor should fight, because there's a lot of excited ones there. Ferguson Conor would make sense. Again, both guys coming off of losses. Again, both guys with the question mark of, do they really want to still be in the game, you know? That would make sense. But yeah, let us know if that makes sense for you guys. As for a prediction then, for Colby versus Masvidal, I honestly think it's got to be easy. I mean, because yes, Masvidal is, well, both guys are clearly coming off of losses. You know, if you look at who lost to Kamaru Usman the hardest, it was Masvidal, right? The edge has got to be in Colby's corner, just because of his skill set, the way he's able to put a pace on people, with the way he's able to mix in his striking with his wrestling. You know, power edge, of course, you'd probably give to Masvidal, because look, he's capable. He could put Colby away with the one bang, with the one shot. But look, across the 5 rounds, and Masvidal with his mind where he wants to be money fights all the time. So look, yeah, I would go Colby Covington decision quite comfortably. I don't know if he'd finish Masvidal, but that's my opinion. Let us know what your predictions, your early predictions for this fight are. Bruce Bob Trotter, welcome back to the channel, buddy. It's nice to see you at this time, instead of 6 o'clock in the morning after a pay-per-view. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. He says, does Masvidal stand a chance against Colby? Doubtful. So yeah, you're quite doubtful as well. I've basically touched upon that before reading your comment. Yeah, that's my take. Comfortable. Colby's decision. Taylor Young saying Masvidal is a talented striker. I've put him on the level just under the elite. I'd go with Colby. Yeah. Especially when you look at other guys that he's lost to. You know, you look at the Wonderboy Thompsons. Okay, Wonderboy Thompson is no slouch to lose to, because he's just got such an awkward style. But you know, I mean, the list goes on. Even back when he was lightweight days, you know, Damian Maia, okay, grappling, probably should have stayed on the feet and picked him apart. Lorenz Larkin by split decision. I guess benefit of the doubt. I'll give him benefit of the doubt. A lot of these have been close decisions. I remember the Al Iaquinta one very vividly, because I thought that he won that fight, but Al took it, and look, I was happy with Owl taking it because I had Owl in my parlay / accumulator, however you call it. Bob says, whatever you think of Tyron, he has good takedown defense, and Colby was getting him down. Feel he will be able to do the same to Jorge. Ooh. Yeah, Colby with pure cardio takedowns, all for the 5 rounds. I can't see him stopping Masvidal on the ground. You know, Masvidal's only been knocked out twice out of the 40 plus, literally 50 fights that he's had. You know, you look at which ones were they? I'm just gonna have a look here now. He got stopped very early on against Rogerio Dam in 2008. That's all I'm seeing here. Those were his. Oh wait, there was one before that. Rogerio Dam. I've missed one out. I'm scrolling now. My bad. Oh, and of course, Usman last fight. Yeah, of course, my bad. Oxygen hasn't got quite back to my brain from the box fit. I do apologise, guys. Ash going with Colby as well. He agrees. Bob says, did you see Jackass Forever teaser where Francis Ngannou is about to punch someone in the nuts? Yeah, I did see that actually, funnily enough, earlier. Just a small clip of it. It kind of looked a bit weird when he was throwing punches like in the air. I don't know. It looked a bit weird to me. Yeah, I'd probably watch Jackass just to see Francis Ngannou punch someone into orbit or turn someone's insides inside out with that one shot of his. So I guess what we can do before I wrap this up, let's go quickly into early predictions for Volkanovski and Chen Sung-Jung, because that fight is a done deal. That has been confirmed. I gave my prediction for Peter Yan one last week, so I won't do that. I've got to take Volkanovski against Chen Sung-Jung, I'm afraid. You know, Jung for me just hasn't been quite at it for a little while now. I mean, I think he's past his peak in terms of performances. That's my opinion. I don't know, man. We've seen him get finished in recent fights. Dating back Yair Rodriguez. Okay, fair enough. He looked good for the majority of the time. You could say it's a lucky shot. And losing to Brian Ortega by decision, of course, back in October 2020. You know, the last time he looked really impressive was against Frankie, but then at the same time, you got to take into account Frankie was on the sort of, the trajectory, the down low. That's just after the Brian Ortega knockout as well. The Moicano fight was pretty impressive as well. Performance of the night again. That looked really good. But, that was in 2019, I'm not just sure what to make of this fight. I think Volkanovski comfortably does it. And a decision would be a safe bet. I don't think he stops Jung. Jung's, say, Yair, Jose Aldo. Oh, he did lose to Jose Aldo with, TKO. Man. Volkanovski decision. That's what I'm going for. That's my thoughts. Let's go. And some new people chiming in. Ahmed Warsame says, I don't know, what do you do with the winner here? Both lost to Usman twice. True. Good question. Obviously, Masvidal has more to earn here, right? Because he slipped down into the rankings. Quite far down now, to be fair. And he will obviously trajectory back into the sort of top 5 area with a win over Colby. For Colby, it's just to get a win on your thing. But look, with a win against Masvidal, I don't want another title run against Usman for the 3rd time. Like, I'm done with seeing that fight. That's not going to happen again. These 1 wins and then title shot. I think Colby would have to just be a gatekeeper. Yes, Magic Size brought up the rankings for me. So yeah, Masvidal in 6, just outside. Bilal Muhammad in at number 5, of course, and Bilal Muhammad's looking phenomenal. So look, Colby would just be a gatekeeper. He'd have to wait for Hamzat. personally. You know, but that's a good question as well. You know, Khamzat, what's next for Khamzat? Is it looking more likely to be that Burns fight now? Because there was a lot of rumours about Colby. That's now obviously put to bed. So, look, man, it's got to be that Burns fight. Unless Bilal Muhammad's going to scream his face off to try and get that fight. Yeah, Taylor Young siding with Volk as well on this one. I think a lot of people probably will. Sice tuning in saying, what do you think happens if Francis fights Fury? Or is that chat for the Discord? Yeah, it's for the Discord. I was going to personally... do you know what? The last time I went live, I did say on Twitter, I was like, join us live. If you ask nicely, I will bring up my opinions for that. And now you're trying to get it out of me. Okay? I see what you're trying to do. Look, I mean, you know I'm a Cyril Gane in this. In this. For Francis, he's going to lose because the next step is going to be in his head. And the whole contract side of things is just going to put such a pressure on him. Too much pressure. You know? If he goes out there and starts his gun, by all means, mate, you win the game. You win the game. Because now you don't have to... You're free agent and you are the champion. So yeah, by all means, go chase that Tyson Fury fight. If you lose against Gane, that fight against Tyson Fury has gone, and you don't have a choice to sign a new contract. Work your way back up to that point again. You know? Because that fight is not... It's not a seller if you lose. You know? You want to retire the champion... obviously retire the belt. You know, go elsewhere, do boxing, and get out of a contract. Simple. You know? And the UFC don't play nice with these things. They're always going to be ahead of you. That's my opinion. Sorry, I had to burp there. Taylor Young saying he gets punished by Fury in any form of boxing. Yeah, I'm completely with you. He'll have... Again, it's similar to the whole Conor McGregor-Floyd Mayweather situation. You've got 2 rounds to finish him. Otherwise, you're going to guess out and you're going to get picked apart. That's basically what Tyson Fury will do. That's the game plan against MMA guys in boxing, I'm afraid. Bob saying, so he's sort of tagging in Ahmed War, saying they fight Khamzat afterwards, considering Khamzat wins. Pretty much, unless the UFC want to jump Khamzat straight in against Usman. Because, look, we all want to see that fight. Usman needs new competition. And if it all depends on if they go down the route of Gilbert Burns. You beat Gilbert Burns, you're there, in my opinion. They could take a step back, build him up a little bit more, and have him fight someone like a Sean Brady, who's in just above him in number 9. Wrestler versus wrestler, you know, both guys on the come up, or he would take Bilal Muhammad fight, maybe, because Bilal Muhammad would probably take that, I think, instead of fighting upwards and fighting someone like Luque. Bob was saying, I feel the same whenever a fighter has too much drama fights. They are looking in the future for... It all ends up causing them to not be there for the fight ahead. Absolutely. Spot on. You know, it's... that's just it. You know, it's always going to play like that because the MMA gods don't give a fuck about what fights you want. And whether you want the big pays. You know, if your mind's not in it, you can lose. Taylor Young says Cyril Gane winning by late stoppage. Oh, okay. Interesting. I would love that if that was to be the case. I just think it's going to be a very slow-paced fight. Both guys are going to have huge respect for each other. Obviously for each other's abilities, but then not only that, they used to train together. So there's that element of it as well. Francis needs to go out there and take his head off if he wants to advance that next kind of step, really, and then look good for the boxing promoters and things like that. But is he going to do it because of the element of risk, you know, of just getting picked apart by Gane if you slip up? Ash saying, why do I feel like Francis will beat Gane? Ash, you're just trying to banter me, and I know you're trying to pick at me because you did it the other day on Twitter. And it's not going to work. Mate, you just forget about it, mate. Gane has got this. And I wish my boy from France, Dylan, was in the chat because he'd back me up. And look, I can't wait to speak to Dylan about Cyril Gann. We're going to have a proper good chat about it. Side tuning in, saying Hamzat not yet been tested though. My theory is under the big beard. I know, and you said that in a video, man, that he's got a weak chin. It could be possible. And we could see that against these top competition. Or does Hamzat, just not try to steamroll these top 5 guys? Take a step back a little bit, take his time, and really sort of, instead of rush in for the takedown, wait for Burns to overcommit. If it is going to be Burns, of course. I hope it's Burns. I'm very hopeful of Burns. Welcome back to the channel, BSE Show. He says Masvidal versus Covington should be in tough. Exactly. Look, and we said this at the start of the video. I'm glad you agree with us as well. I feel like the UFC have missed the opportunity. I mean, maybe both guys didn't want it. Maybe they just couldn't hack. I'm sure they could have hacked each other's company for that period of time. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm confused. Or it's either that or it's the UFC have forced this fight now because they have no other option for March. That's my take, I think. Ash saying, Francis finishes, mate. No banter. All right. Okay, fine. Your team got Ngannou. Fuck you then. Sorry, I mean, I do apologise. That's just a banter between me and Ash. If you are going with Ngannou, I fully respect you. And, look, I'm all for listening to opinions because on this channel, opinions matter most, of course. Right, I'm going to round up real quickly. Prediction for Holland versus Cowboy Oliveira. It's going to be Kevin Holland. Easy, I think he stops him. I mean, Kevin Holland didn't look great against Kyle Daukaus, but, Oliveira's a bit long in the tooth at the moment. He's, I think maybe he might be on his way out. I just think the younger guy and Kevin Holland's just going to cause him problems. And look, I think it's just destined to be Kevin Holland's win at welterweight. I do. Because then we can all just rant and rave at how good Kevin Holland looks, That's my opinion. Anyhow, so anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this thing up. You guys have been amazing in the chat. If you haven't done so already, you're tuning in and you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, of course, as well. And, of course, don't forget to all of you guys who are already subscribed, you wonderful people, hit that like button as well because, these things help this channel grow. And, look, we want to bring you the absolute best content. We have so many good ideas that we can't do yet. There's just too many. I want to train with some fighters, and that will be the goal. And if we can give you that kind of content where I look embarrassing sparring with someone, then by all means, because I think that would be ideal. But that's a little inkling. Guys, once again, guys have been amazing. Tune in to this weekend. We are back with a watch along for the first time in 4 weeks. Mate, I'm so pumped. Tune in this weekend as we've got Calvin Kattar taking on Giga Chikadze. And look, the video link will be going out tomorrow for that. To stay tuned. Hit that notification when you see that. And tune in. I think it's going to be 12 a.m. over here in the UK. To sync that up with you guys over in the US. Just check the UFC website for all the times. But of course, I'm JK. Thanks for tuning in. Good night. Stay safe.